Hello, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Intuitive Entrepreneur Secrets, how to build an excited and devoted audience. And we have twice the bang for your buck today, everyone. So welcome Helena and Kelly to the show. Hello.
Hey, everybody.
So a little bit about these marvelous entrepreneurs. Kelly Tyler and Helena Holrick are the founders of Speaker Insight and have been working with speakers, authors, and coaches for many years as they collectively have a history of running a speaker agency, a publishing house, and training consultancies. And they're both speakers, authors, and coaches themselves. So they understand a little bit about the industry, right, from both sides. And what I love about them is they're passionate about helping change makers build a business around their message on their terms, as they find so many experts aren't earning enough, which is actually really sad, right, for their expertise. And they're not reaching a wide enough audience or standing out from their competition. And so these ladies teach you exactly how to do all of this without burning out and having a social life and maybe having your weekends. That's amazing, ladies. Welcome to the summit. We need you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
I love it. So, ladies, we're talking about something really special today, which I know is going to serve everyone in the audience, which is lead generation. So you two ladies work a lot with coaches, with authors, with experts in their field, helping them build a thriving business on their terms. And a big part of it is lead gen, right? So can you tell us a little bit about what most people miss in terms of lead generation if we're just kind of starting or haven't really invested our time in that?
Yeah,
oh,
sure.
Yeah, we can. You go.
It's the lead generation is probably the biggest thing, because when you've got a really full funnel, the rest of your business flows. So we find that so many speakers, authors, and coaches have got so much intellectual property sitting in their garages or on their laptops,
Filing cabinets.
Yeah, but it's not getting out there to a wide enough audience because their lead generation process isn't working.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of reasons why I think people make the mistakes in lead gen. One of the biggest ones, and anyone that knows our community, I go on about this all the time, and it's about your avatar. And it's the only probably jargon word I mention in marketing. And we're not talking about the film avatar, we're talking about your ideal client.
Yeah.
So the person that is the dream person you want to work with, not the client that you've just taken on board because you have to pay the bills, and when they ring the phone you go, oh my god, I really don't want to speak to that person. That's not your ideal avatar. Your ideal avatar is somebody that you are passionate to work with.
Yeah.
They get you, and they have the situation and the finances to pay you what you're worth to get the information from you.
Yeah.
So when I say to people, okay, who's your avatar? Who's your audience? The biggest mistake is they come back to me and say, oh, my product's for everyone. That's like the worst comment you can ever make, because if your product is for everybody, it's going to appeal to nobody.
Exactly.
You have to have, and I'm not saying people have to have a really defined niche, that you have to be so specific, but if you haven't niched it down to the psychographics, the personality profiles, the situation, and mainly the feelings that person's in. Because there's a difference between somebody saying, oh yeah, I work with people that are tired, and I could be standing in an audience and say, okay, put your hands up, or people that are listening to this summit, how many here have you ever felt tired? I'm sure most of you have got your hands up, right? That's how you get through it. But if I said to you, okay, actually your audience isn't a tired audience, it's people that suffer from chronic fatigue, then the way that you'll be talking to the messages is like, you get home from work, your muscles ache, you're too tired to even get off the sofa to make a cup of tea. It gets to 8 o'clock, you know you should eat some dinner, but actually you're so whacked out, you end up putting a bit of toast in the toaster, you fall asleep in front of the television, and then you take yourself up to bed at 12 o'clock, and that's your day. That isn't how everybody in this summit's probably felt or is feeling. So just by defining more what tired is, and going a step deeper and a step deeper, really helps your marketing, your message, but really hone in on who is it you can help, what's it you can help with, and why should they be attracted to you. So I think the defining your avatar is one mistake that most people don't make, and they try and make that lead generation appeal to everybody. And then when they scroll through it, they're like, yeah, I was tired one day, I'm tired every day. that's not for me. I want something specific.
It's like, yeah.
I want to hone in on this, and Helena, maybe you can speak to this, because I bet you a lot of people watching the summit, you know, like are business coaches for women, right, who want to build an aligned business and be successful, be massively successful, live their best life, right?
Of course.
Hone in that, because I feel like that's everyone.
Yeah, completely agree. And so I think that there's a big piece around not stopping for long enough, partly developing the avatar. That is the key thing for us. And so, you know, the next thing that I really harp on about is the capacity that you have and the size of business that you want to build, because most of us go into the entrepreneurial world to help in some way. We want to actually go and help, and you know, helping women of a certain age who have a certain problem is a really good thing, and we want to hone it down even more. And so Kelly usually kind of comes from the external. I usually come from the internal. So for me, the thing that most people don't actually consider enough is, what is your capacity going to be? How many people can you and do you want to serve? Because that's actually going to impact on the product range that you have. It's going to impact on the lead generation that you actually need to create. How many people do you need to actually have come through your door? And that ties in with, what is the bigger picture of what you want to do? Is it a laptop lifestyle? Is it a I'm building my business around my children? Is it
An empire?
Yeah, exactly. That's where, you know, are we going global? And if we're going global, are we actually visiting global, or are we going global online? So I think one of the big mistakes that people make is that they don't think about that big picture and then scale it back to, and what's the capacity I have for creating that? How much of it is online? How much of it is offline? Because actually, most people, and this is that thing where, you know, have you put your ladder against the wrong wall? You know, they get too busy because they're determined. Everybody else says, hey, I'm going to go really big because that's what I'm going to do. And they buy into somebody else's idea, not their own idea. They don't check in inside. And so what happens is they build this big business that's burning them out. That means they're too busy to actually have a life, too busy to see the people that they really care about, or they don't actually have a life at all. They just become all consumed, and therefore lose their passion and think that the vision that they originally had isn't the right one. That actually isn't necessarily true. It's just they haven't built their business because they haven't thought about it.
And on that point, it's when you have this beautiful lead generation machine, which I'm sure we'll talk to you a little bit more, when you have that running and you've got these leads coming in, and the only thing at the end of the funnel is you as an individual coach.
That's pressure.
You've got thousands of leads coming in 24 hours in a day, and one of you. And that's when people start going, I don't have enough capacity to serve what I've built here. I'm burning out. I'm disappointing people. I'm letting people down, which is when we help people think, okay, how can we develop a product range around you? How can we develop your IP so that you can still serve those people, but you're not constantly swapping time for money? So capacity is a massive issue.
Huge.
Which people don't think of before they build the funnel.
Exactly, because I'll just be happy with anyone coming through, right? Or like, but we need to do that kind of inner work and think, who do I want to serve? How many people do I want to serve? Because that actually impacts the lead generation.
Yeah. And what would make me happy? What would make me satisfied is actually a really great question to ask yourself. What would make me satisfied in terms of the numbers, in terms of the figures,
the hours
in terms of the hours, you know, sort of like, so actually getting tangible with numbers, hours, figures, money, that whole thing can be one of the most enlightening and shaping questions you can ask.
Because we work a day a week on Speaker Insights. That's all we give to this company. And, you know, it's our mainstream of income. We both collectively run 6 other businesses. But this is our main one. And we do it a day a week. And people are like, how do you do that? Right?
Because we set it up systematically, because we've got the lead gen going in the way that we want it.
Wow. So, okay. So we definitely need to talk about this lead gen piece, right? Because that's where I think a lot of entrepreneurs, especially if they're working by themselves, maybe they have a VA somewhere, most of their time is spent worrying about lead gen, not necessarily like delivering, you know, their goods and services, right? And so what do we need to know about lead gen for someone who's just kind of like a solopreneur and is just, you know, trying to fill their one-to-one coaching practice or something, or maybe a group, or, you know, they have a book and they want to use it to promote their practice. Like, what are some key components about like lead generation that we need to know?
Okay, so again, it sort of comes back, my stuff's always going to come back to the avatar work, but this one definitely is a key for making your lead gen work. And it's a thing that we see again and again and again,
Totally.
that coaches and speakers and authors, they already know the solution, right? They've been through the process. They probably wear their own avatar just a few steps behind them. So they've learned all this stuff and they've developed this knowledge, and then what they attempt to do is go on their audience and tell them everything all up front.
That's not very comfortable for anybody.
Well, it's overwhelming, right? So when you're trying to create an initial product, a lead gen product, you don't want to have all the information of all the years experience that you've learned in that lead gen product. The key is to meet your client where they're currently at, and give them something that they want, not something that you know that they need. Because at the moment, they don't know what they don't know. And if you start talking about this stuff they've never heard of, it's not going to relate to them. You have to go to them about what are they currently typing in Google to look for answers for. And you need to give them some short snippet of information to go, okay, here's what you're looking for. Here's a solution. And I'm going to basically put a plaster over the wound to help you with that immediate pain. But at the same time, I'm going to educate you into how to get rid of the root cause of that pain, which is why you're not aware of it at the moment. So what a lot of people do is they attempt to tell everything they know too early on. And they don't take themselves right back to their own journey and go, what did I think I needed when I first started looking into this industry? What was I Googling? What was I asking my friends? And that's where you need to create a product. And have you got time for me to teach a little bit about a seed launch? Okay, good. So I don't know if you know John and Jeff Walker, but I used to, from Product Launch Formula, go and check them out, go and check out the book, Product Launch, it's awesome. But I used to do some work with John, and he taught me something called a seed launch. It's probably one of the most valuable processes I've come across, and I teach people a lot now. So if you want to create a lead gen product, which your audience is going to die for, you basically say, can I have 10 or 20 people in that I know are my ideal avatar? So you might want to put a little questionnaire together to make sure that they're the right gender, the right age, the right income, the blah, blah, blah. And then you say, I'm going to offer you a month's worth of free coaching. Would you be interested?
Woohoo!
Right? So these people are like, hell yes. What you do is you say, I need you to commit to being four webinars, 4 live webinars, and I need you to commit to answering some questions before each webinar. If they get to that process, they're done. You then work out your service and maybe take 4 key messages, key themes that you teach, coach, or talk about. Say, for example, it was to do with us. One of our key messages is marketing for speakers, authors, and coaches. I would send an email out to those 20 people, say, okay, can you send me every question, every concern, every nuance of information you don't have the answer to around marketing? And so you get all of these questions in their language, in their words, about exactly what problem they think they've got with marketing at the time. You then hold a webinar that week, and all you do is answer all their questions and go through it. And then at the end of it, you've got your 4 webinars, all of the marketing language sorted. You can even convert that into an audio program and sell it, because you know it's what your avatar's asking the questions about. And it creates all of your product range going forward. So what should your first little opt-in be, whether it's a quiz, an assessment, or a guide, because that's the stuff they're looking for. What's the checklist they want? Or you could use this product itself. It revolutionizes people's businesses, because you are answering the questions that your avatar is already asking that they want information about.
And you're not making up what the questions are.
And you're doing it in their language.
Exactly. Right? So they go, oh my God, this person really gets me. I should listen to more of this, which is exactly what you want from a lead gen.
See, they want you to feel like you've had surveillance cameras in your house going, I just asked my friend that question the other day. How does she know that, right? So I think seed launching from John and Jeff Walker It's in the product launch book if you want to get it and go into detail. But that's a great way. People going, I don't know what to create as my early stage product. I don't know what the problems my avatar has. Do a seed launch.
Yeah. Go for it.
Helena, go ahead.
Oh, so what I was going to say, in addition to that, out of that seed launch, you will have language, you will have all sorts of information that you can extract from, that you can create products, small products that are kind of like breadcrumbs along the way that allow them to get more and more intimate. I talk about earning the right. At the very stage that Kelly was talking about, it's really about engaging your audience where they're at and engaging with them, be in the conversation with them so that you can really hear what the problems are. And then you can actually start to create those digital products, tiny little ones or slightly bigger ones, as people get to know you. There's a certain point at which you have earned the right. And for different people, it'll come at different points. But once they've gotten to know you, your style, your information, they trust you. And that's exactly it. So once they've earned the right, they now trust you to educate them. What most people try and do is educate first. So they create this product with all of their stuff in it, or even like one thing, but most speakers, authors, and coaches, certainly, they're like, but it's one thing. And I'm like, 3 hours on several things is not one thing. I'm just letting you know that right now. Like, that's not digestible, right? So you can break it down, because what we forget, what a lot of people forget, is we're really passionate and knowledgeable, but we forget that actually people have to learn this stuff. And so when you're learning, you want to break it down even further. So what you think is a product in our world is usually 4. Yeah. So, you know, sort of like bite-sized pieces. And so it's, those products are then things you can break down and put online. Yeah. And that makes them completely global. You don't have limits on geography. You don't have limits on your time. They're deliverable. Again, back to the capacity piece. They're deliverable, you know, whenever and wherever.
Without you.
Exactly.
Yeah. And people come to us with like, oh, I built an online course. And it's like 7 hours long.
You just go, and would you sit through 7 hours?
You can't do that. You know, your courses should be like an hour and a half long, but in 10-minute bite-sized pieces so people can digest.
Yeah.
Like the people that we work with, speakers, authors, and coaches, their biggest phobia is tech. So if we're teaching them marketing funnels, oh my God, it takes them a long way to just understand the concept. Yeah. We've got to let them breathe. We've got to let them understand that, not just bombard them with all the information.
It's kind of the bowl of spaghetti effect. You're not going to eat a whole bowl of spaghetti right in one go. You're going to take a fork, you're going to twiddle a little, and you're going to eat it and enjoy. Exactly. And so things are going to kind of fall out, and it's just like, actually, you get through it one twiddle at a time, right?
So I love this. So to bring it back to, you know, the course example, right? So let's say someone has an online course. So you're saying, well, probably cut the length in half and make it more time for and more engaging for people to be able to practice and absorb and actually take action on that information. And then even like before they sign up for your course, you're saying have a few bits and pieces. Maybe it's like you said, like a free webinar, or, you know, like a, you know, like
checklist, a quiz, you know, something. And we have a diagnostic tool where people actually discover what stage of a business they've actually created as a speaker, author, or coach.
Oh, it's revolutionary.
So they can actually say, okay, now I understand. Oh, I'm at this stage, and we tell them what they need to do next.
What are the stages?
Well, we have the fact that you're struggling, that you're frustrated, you're happy, or you're a change maker. And they involve 7 different processes all around your finances, your marketing, your impact, your social media, all these aspects. We measure for you and say, okay, so this is great, but you've got no products, or this is great, but your impact's not strong, or your USP is not strong. So
it's a way to actually understand where your gaps are. Yeah. And it's a way for you to actually understand that, you know, what a $1 million business needs versus what a $100,000 business needs are 2 different things, right? And so you need to have the right tools for the right stage. And unless you know what stage you're at, how do you know what you can do next? And so what I was going to say about all the lead gens that we have, they're in different formats. Some are audio, some are video based, some are checklist based. some are longer copy, because actually different people have different needs. Again, I'm back to earn the right. What is the nature of the problem that you can solve, and what's the format that you're solving it in? That'll get different people at different stages.
And you need to hang out where your avatar is.
Yes, please.
Right? So I'm always in Facebook groups where speakers are, right? The PSA, the NSA, all those types. And one of the things I was hearing all the time is, hey, where can I get speaking gigs?
Yeah.
So one of our lead generation is a directory over 200 stages that you can speak on and who to contact to go and speak on that stage.
Yeah.
So constantly we're putting that in groups, and people are coming into our email database because they've downloaded that spreadsheet in that directory. So you've got to react to not only what you know that they're Googling, but also what are the questions that they're asking in the groups that they're at, that you know your avatar hangs out in, and put something together. We love the diagnostic tool because the speakers, authors and coaches themselves define what their problem is. We don't tell them.
They're doing it.
They know what the next step is, which is the next product in our product line. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy for them, really, and it really helps us. And them.
And it leads them down the product range. So once they've diagnosed it, we give them a particular tool that solves that problem, and now they're in our world. Usually by that time, they are already at the stage where we've earned the right.
We've earned the right.
You know, and that's the point at which we say, look, we can do so much more with you, because we don't teach speakers how to speak. We don't teach authors how to write. We don't teach coaches how to coach. What we do is help put the foundations in your business so that you can go and speak, write, and coach
on your terms, without burning out and earning the money and making the impact.
Yeah.
So everything that both of you said has just been oozing with structure.
Yes, my highest value.
It's my third.
There is a scrambling, right? There's like, oh, I don't understand what stage I'm at, so I'm just trying to do everything at once. And of course, you're going to get disenfranchised. Of course, you're going to burn out, right? But that's why it's important to have experts be able to say, okay, so I understand. Now we understand what your goal is, what your avatar is, what best serves you, what best serves them. And I think you both beautifully embody in your own business structure, right? How to best serve your clients at the stage they're at. So thanks for that. Feels so good.
Welcome.
Yeah.
How can someone get started with that? So for everyone who's listening, they're like, yep, I know I need some structure. I need to know where I'm at. But what can they begin to kind of build from here? What advice can they take to start even thinking about, right? Like what to implement to start getting the right leads for their business?
We can do that.
If you cover some of the main components, are you okay, Anna, if I share my screen and actually I've got a little diagram?
Yeah.
Perfect. So if you talk about the components that people might need while I get this up.
So a lead gen in and of itself, we've sort of mentioned it already. It could well be a Facebook Live that is full of information. It could be a checklist of some sort. It could be a little video or audio that people can actually take themselves through something with. It could well be a list of a webinar that goes through a list of everything you need in the business. So again, it's meeting them where they're at, different formats for different people, right?
But what the components are, once you've got that actual, what we call a lead magnet, so that's the thing that gives them the content that they're looking for. You also need some systems around that.
And they're the ones that sit underneath it all. So what we actually did was we designed this to actually help make it really simple for people.
Yeah. So can you see this screen? Is it showing?
Yeah.
Right. So the first thing you want to do is
top left.
This one here, if you can see, I don't know if you can see my cursor on your screen.
I'm just going to say top left.
Top left. So where it says here, you want to actually promote this lead gen on your email or your social media page or your LinkedIn or wherever it might be in the bio of your Instagram, to basically say, hey, take this, ours is our expert indicator test, or download this video, or here's the webinar, which is an evergreen webinar. You want to promote that somewhere. Now this is the key thing, the next stage where it says opt-in page. This is where you should, I advise people using external software to host a lead page, squeeze page, opt-in page. They're all the same thing. They're just called different titles.
Yeah, don't panic, don't panic, stay with us.
So what they are is just like a one-page website where the only thing you can do is learn about what it is and then put your email address and opt in. So
yes, please, I'll have that.
You do that rather than hosting it on your website, because if you put a lead gen on your website, people get distracted and they go on your blog and they read your about page and they then forget to like do the quiz or do what they came there for. So you want to have, I use leadpages.net. I love that service for hosting opt-in pages, because all the templates are built for you. Just drag and drop and brand it in your colors.
And they test them all the time as well, and they're always updating. It's brilliant.
So the reason why you do that opt-in page is because it's really important in lead generation that you develop an email list as well as a social media following. You're going to get engagement from your social media following more than you will your email list. But your email list is a way that you can practically guarantee that the email is going to be delivered to your client. And it might not be read. You might have an open rate of about 30-40%. But on social media, I think it's about now 2 to 5% of your audience will only see your post.
Yes.
So if they're not online at the time you post it and then, you know, weren't in that group at that time, and you've got a lot of activity, they're just going to miss it. So it's important to build the engagement with the social media following, but the email list delivers the important stuff, broadcasts it to their inbox so that they guaranteed got the receipt of it. So that's what the lead page does, is it gives people a chance to opt in so they go into your email list. And I'll do that in a minute. But the next page is the thank you page that Lead Pages also hosts for you, where you can actually say, thanks for opting in. Here's the PDF. Here's the link to take the test. Here's the webinar login, so that they get the instant gratification of what they've downloaded. And that's a great way. You can use that as a call to action. Say, oh, do you know, I also run a Facebook group. Come and join it here. So it's another touch point for them. Now, the next box along is what I call a
top right
CRM list. Now, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management System. A bit of a mouthful. Most of the viewers will probably have heard of some of the facilities: Aweber, Constant Contact, Infusionsoft, Entreport, MailChimp. These are all CRM systems, and basically they're a godsend for speakers because they import all of the information, the data, the first name, the email address, the contact details, into a database, which is all GDPR recognized. And
that's important for us here in
the UK. We have to be GDPR recognized.
Well, in Europe,
data protection. But it's a nice way of saying, okay, all these people have opted in for this list. So I can go into my CRM system and say, I know all the people that have taken my Expert Insight indicator test. And I could maybe send an email broadcast to all of them saying, hey, you took the test a month ago, blah, blah, blah. So it's a nice way of data segmenting your list. So you've got a good understanding of your customers or where people have come from if you've met them at a networking event. But the important thing to do is then send them an automatic email that sends them their results from their from the opt-in page as well. So whatever was given on the thank you page, the PDF or the test, you should also email to them, so they've always got a receipt of that.
And a lot of the time people will close down a link and they didn't mean to, and everything else. So it's just a backup.
Fail safe. And it's also a great way of them whitelisting or putting your email address in their saved account, because you want to. So what the next thing is about is we teach people how to do an 8-series nurture campaign, which is not a sale. Like, I hate it when you opt into something and the next email you get is buy my program.
The word is nurture.
So all we do is we teach you how to have virtual cups of coffee with your avatar via email over a 2-week basis. Giving them
lovely.
And that's the earning the right process that Helena was talking about. But all of this is doing it automatically, running round the clock. You're not touching anything. You just set it up once.
Exactly. I was going to say the only thing you've done is you've taken some time out to actually create that lead magnet, whatever it is, to actually think about what goes on the opt-in page, think about what goes on the thank you page, and written the actual emails. But once they're scheduled and done, really, it's working in the background for you. So you can go out and be making a difference.
And then over that 2 weeks, you come down to the bottom right of the screen where it says sales page buy. You want to then entice them to carry that journey on with you with a very low paid product. something under $100, because that's no brainer. But what you should have done before this is mapped out your avatar's user journey.
Yeah.
Where are they when they first come across you, which is that lead magnet?
Yeah.
What's the next stage that you can help them with, where they need to invest some money for exchange? And again, that product should be digital. It shouldn't involve your time. And then further on, the more in depth of the problem you're solving and the more time you're giving, the price increases. Yeah. And that, so when you're, what we normally find with coaches especially is they have their funnel the wrong way round. So they basically are doing lots of one-to-one work for very little cost, when really they should be doing digital stuff and they only have 4 or 5 clients, but they're paying top dollar. Yeah. So they need to do more, reach more people from a digital perspective, so they can only work with their the people they love. Yeah. And they're their handful of clients that are spending a lot of money with them.
And actually, sort of back to your earlier questions, it's actually harder to find people to do one-to-one coaching with at that sort of stage, whereas actually if they've gotten to know you through the digital products, they've gotten to understand how you can help them, they understand your style, it sort of becomes a no-brainer for them to actually work their way around your breadcrumb trail, so that they get to the stage where they just go, thank you very much.
And we love it as coaches, because all of the stuff that we teach, which is foundational information, is all done digitally. Yeah. When we work with somebody one-to-one, we're working bespokely on their business. So we don't have to teach them all the stuff. That's all in our digital membership program and our online courses.
And we insist on that, because actually, done the work, right? You know, because if they've done the work, then we can actually really support and help them to do the thing that they really want to do, which is scale their business.
Yeah. So that email, that last email in that nurture campaign, is an email to buy your low tier product. And the couple of things in there that people don't think about is make sure you've got a merchant account in place to be able to take payment. That might be PayPal or Stripe is what we use, so that you can take different currencies. And then send them to wherever the product is that it's going to be, whether it's the book that you send them to the Amazon link, or whether it's the online course that you're hosting on something like thinkific.com, where we host our courses, Teachable, any of those platforms, or Udemy. And then make sure that process. So this whole process here should be running round the clock without you, 24/7. And you've got people coming in and people buying, people coming in and buying, and then you've got the extended product range afterwards.
That's kind of how it goes.
We do.
And for those of you who are going, wow, that was a lot of info, pause, come back, pick out one of the bits, ask us questions. It's not an issue. Yeah. It's a new learning process, right?
Wow. I feel like you've just given us a whole new world, because a lot of people, especially if we're just working one-to-one and let's say we're coaches, right? It's usually just like, oh, I want to get more one-to-one clients, and that's what my focus is. But actually you're saying that you actually have a higher chance of getting higher paid one-to-one clients if you actually just create a little bit of that breadcrumb, like a little bit of a lower end offer, but that more people can opt into to hear you.
Yeah. Yes. And when you've got IP, Anna, that's the key, right? Because your IP should be in your book, should be in your online courses, because that's the stuff that you can spread out and get out there forever. That's why people like Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, his IP is in books, it's on courses, he's licensed it out to other coaches to teach. But when he would, not now, but him or his junior would work
his
with
son,
they would assume that you know those principles, and it's actually about you're having the trouble actually implementing one of them in your business, and you talk more bespokely around that. And I think that's what coaches love. Yeah, coaches love to be in the moment with people and actually deal with those problems, not regurgitate information. They get bored saying the same thing.
And actually, one of the other ways of thinking about the lead gens that you could create is to make a list of what are the questions that you always have to answer, that you go, oh God, we've got to do this bit first. Okay, fine, right, let's get over this bit. So if you make a list of those, the chances are that you've already got a worksheet or a course or something created that answers all of those, because actually people will be really excited that you're generous to share all of that, and you'll be really excited to serve them at the next level up.
And you'll be excited to stop talking about
it. Oh man alive, it's just like, seriously, if you don't know this, go watch that.
Yeah, we love it. We always redirect people. We have
Facebook Live.
We have our Facebook Live recording. We got a document. I know we sent it to you, Anna. But we said, okay, we've done that one. Let's go and watch that half-an-hour video. Go and see how to, you know, create Facebook ads, or you know, discover your avatar. Go and watch that video. Yeah.
So this is kind of an out of park question, because when you said, Helena, you know, what are the questions that people ask you? And I actually got this earlier this week from, you know, my clients is, it's actually usually a question around pricing. I want to work with you. Something, you know, like, how do you feel about actually putting your pricing out there? Or are you saying actually like, no, I have this offering and it's, you know, $97 and I think that would be great for you to start with. And then what's your take on that?
So I you know, I love transparency, because people, it offers people the opportunity to choose. And having a product range, so my real kind of answer to this is if you have a product range that has different price tiers in it, then people can choose more easily. They can actually, you know, I wouldn't necessarily work with someone, so the coach that I now work with, every coach should have a coach. You know, so no, this is the only time I use the word should is in a sentence like that, right? But the coach that I now work with, I actually went and saw him for a whole day. I'd seen some of his stuff online, like he'd absolutely nailed the whole process that we've just talked about. He'd nailed that, he caught my attention. And I went, actually, if I'm going to spend the next 6 months, 12 months with you, I need to understand that you can get me and I can get you. So I want to have the experience of you. And so I did a £49 day, maybe it was $97 dollar day, you know, sort of like, and I experienced him and I saw him go through the whole of that day, just being caring and generous and on it. And I was like, you know what?
I like you.
You get my vote. Yeah. And we still had like the discovery call after that, the way that most coaches do. But we bypassed most of that. And I was like, don't sell me. Tell me how we can actually, you know, show me what you can actually do. And so he's now my coach.
And I think there's 2 extra points in that as well, which is what we also preach and do. Yeah. Is I think the try before you buy element is so key. So in our membership program, Changemaker Central, we offer a month free for people. Because we want to literally open the doors and go, okay, you can come and access everything for free for a month.
Have it.
See what the coaching's like, see what the program's like, see what the interviews are like, see what the resources are like. And if you don't like it, there's no contract. Just unsubscribe before 30 days. So I think that's something which is not a lot of people do. It's a major thing in the tech world. So if you ever use a financial systems like Xero or whatever, they always do. Apps give a 30-day trial. Yeah. So you can actually say, oh, this interface wasn't working for me. I like it. See if there's a way that you can do that. Mm-hmm. The second point with pricing, which I think a lot of people miss, is demonstrate the ROI.
Yes.
You have to show people that basically it's a no-brainer, or there's a guarantee, or they know what the result is. And I think that's something which a lot of people forget. Yeah. Every product has to have an end result, has to have something tangible and emotional that they will feel different once they've done it, and they'll have something different. They'll be able to be something different. Yeah. Tell them what that is, because then they can weigh up, is that the right price that I'm willing to pay for that?
And that isn't a feature. That's actually a result in that, you know, it's a benefit in the business. You know, it's not 3 hours of coaching, it's you increasing your product range, for example, or developing something new. So it's that. And the 3 words, this is a write it downer, the 3 words that I would highly recommend is, once you've got a feature, once you've got the benefit, ask yourself or say to yourself, which means that. Okay. So the feature, 3 hours of coaching, which means that. You will create a wide product range, which means that. People will have choice, and it makes it easier for them to choose you.
1 day a week in your business because you've got a product range. Which
exactly. So give them a reason, give them a whole so what at the end. We're slightly passionate here.
So, okay, we can continue this conversation for the next 3 days, I think. Okay. Yeah, but there's an even better way. So for people who are like, oh my gosh, I need this diagnosis, I need this in my life, I need this structure, right? How do we connect with you? How do we follow you, ladies? How do we get a bit of this experience so that we can actually start implementing it in our business right now? Because you have a very generous offer for everyone.
We do, yeah. So the first one is, like, we have our Facebook group, right? Which is that we do weekly trainings in there every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. We do a half an hour to an hour teach
It was a bit like what we've just done, really.
But it's a hub for speakers, authors, and coaches. It's a worldwide group, and what we do in there is we teach you the foundation bits, but we also have speaker agents, publishers, freelancers, VAs, copywriters, ghostwriters,
techie people.
Yeah, so you can go in there and ask for who you need to connect with, which is why it's called the Connection Hub. Yeah. There's no like referral fees or anything. We're just like, hey, we're opening up our black book to you guys and everybody else's. Yeah. Go and have fun, learn at the same time, collaborate. It's one of our highest values is that, like, if we all work together, we can create something amazing.
The world becomes a better place.
And every day I go into the Connection Hub, I'm blown away by our members. They're so giving, they're so wise. So that's the first place to call, is just join the Connection Hub in the Facebook group. It's an open Facebook group. Yeah. The second one, which is actually where we say, if you want access to us, where we do coaching, is our Changemaker Central membership site, which is one I was saying before. In there, we know that online courses are great. This is one of our learnings.
They really are.
But what we find is online courses are a bit like books, is that people buy them and they either never finish them, or they get a bit stuck halfway through and then they don't know what to do with the information.
And they don't have anywhere to go to actually ask.
Yeah, so other people who are stuck and then they're both stuck together. Yeah.
Okay, so in our membership site, we kick you off with a 90-day course. But
we make you do that.
That 90-day course comes with weekly accountability. So we check in with you Monday, Wednesday, Friday to see what you're doing. And the thing that's got the most feedback and the most love is every Friday we have Feedback Friday in there. So you can upload all your course documents from the course, or when you finish the course, you might have created a speaker show reel or a new website, or we will review all your copy, we'll give you feedback, all locally, so that you don't feel alone, because most speakers, authors, and coaches are doing this alone, and they just need a sounding board, or they just need to bounce something back off somebody.
And we help you break it down. Back to the structure piece, we help you break it down because it's a 90-day course, and it's one of those, actually, this is the module for this week. You don't get to move forward. You just do it. You do this bit, right? Because most of us have this overwhelming, back to where we began, this overwhelming sense of, oh my God, there's so much I need to create in my business that actually I don't know where to start. We go, start here, then do this next bit, then do this next bit, go tweak these bits because of Feedback Friday, go do these ones again. So sometimes people will actually kind of resubmit the piece that they did in order to go, so I've made the changes, what do you think now? And that's actually a joy, because it's like, yes, this reads like the avatar actually wants it, etc. So
and then when you've done the course, and even while you're doing the course, we do monthly webinars on the topics that you wanted to speak. So last month we did how to run events, because we've done event management. So we literally teach you about everything around events. The other one was how to build Facebook groups and build a tribe.
It's like a deep dive monthly spotlight on whatever gets the most votes within the actual Changemaker Central group.
And then we have our professional insights. So we have people like speaker agents or
publishers
or presenters, voice coaches, come and do some teaching there. And then we also have our backstage passes, where we interview peers, other authors, speakers, and coaches, just like your viewers here, because sometimes you just want to hear the journey that person went on. How do they get their book a bestseller? Because they're just like you. I don't always want to hear from the professionals, because that feels a bit removed sometimes. I want to know how my friend did it.
Do you know one of the things I love more than anything here, and apologies to any of our professional insights who are actually kind of watching, but people love the peer reviews more than anything, because actually they go, I could do that.
It's possible.
That, I resonate with that. That's kind of the issue that I've had, but that's because our avatar, they're the people who are coming in for the products that we have. So, getting right back to the beginning of what Kelly said, getting really clear on your avatar is what really works.
And so just like we do with our community, we'd love to offer your community and your viewers a month into that platform. So you just come and observe, come and take part, download whatever. And then if we don't blow your brains, then you can leave.
Please feel free. And, our dearest wishes is that most of the people who are watching are here because they want to make a difference in the world.
Yeah.
What we're all about is how do we help you do that without it actually overwhelming you and you kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
We don't want that for you. We want you to be out there making your difference, and we can make that happen
on your terms.
Exactly.
And what I really get the value is that both of you are actually physically in that group, and you're actually connecting with the individual members and the people who are part of it. So I think that's the highest value, because you're right, a lot of what's going out there, like the courses and stuff, it's really far removed. So it's actually rare to have, I think, a program where you intensely kind of review someone's materials, and there's also a connection and a hub of resources for people. So in the, let's say the 90 days, right? If they continue with the 90 days, what is it that their outcome that they get from that? So who would be right for this group?
So speakers, authors, and coaches are our avatar. And it's either people that are at the early stage of their business where they're not making the impact. So they've got they're defining who they are and what they do, but they can't articulate it, or they can't reach their audience to get more people in their funnels. Yeah. Or it's the people, because I have a speaker agency where people have been running around the world speaking in loads of countries, and they go, oh my God, I'm burnt out. If I'm not speaking, I'm not earning. What do I do? Then it's actually about the growth in your business. So how to build a business that grows without you. So that's about productization, marketing, automation, systemization. And so these people will grow into this. Yeah. And sometimes this person needs to come back here, but actually they might need to redefine their USP and their positioning a little bit, so that they can create a product range from there.
And there's a third set of people who are the ones with garages full of stuff and like filing cabinets and hard disks that are blowing up everywhere. For them, it's actually about taking all of that and honing it down and finding the golden thread that they actually want to be known for. So for us, it's like, what do you want to be known for and seen as? What's the change you want to make in the world? All of this other stuff is confusing for people. We give you, and I'm going to use these words, wouldn't you love to be given permission to just do a couple of things rather than everything? Yeah.
And I'm sure some of your audience are the same. Oh, I've been a coach in this, but I've also trained in NLP. And as a yoga instructor, I did do nutrition.
Here are the 17 certificates that I've actually got from all the different trainings that I have. And it's like, yeah, but what do you want to do?
And when they're at a networking event, they just verbal diarrhea over people about what they do. Yeah. And that's the thing where we go, okay, what is it that you want to be known for? What is it that you're seen as?
That's one of the worksheets.
And we can actually really get that so crystal clear and clarity that not only do you feel confident that you can explain yourself in one sentence, but it resonates with your avatar and they go, I need that. Yeah. Right? So that's what the positioning piece is so key for us, because we know that so many speakers, authors, and coaches are distracted by tactics. Oh, I'm going to build a course. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to do this. But the thing that stands you out is you.
Yeah, entirely.
Your message, your purpose, why you do this, your background, your experience, your qualifications. And then how do we package that so that nobody else is like you, and that it resonates, and people will just want to go, she's for me, I get her, I like her, I want to work with her.
Yeah. And that's why actually the offer that we'd love to make to every single one of the people watching here is come and try it out for a month. Yeah. Like, just come and try it out. You may decide already on the back of this that you love our style. You might actually go,
they're too much for us. They sound like too much hard work.
But actually, come and try it out, because at the very least, you'll have your message that much clearer, even if all you do is watch one or two of the modules.
So you can't lose. And if anything, you just get access to gaining that community, right? And from there, you can only grow in the direction that you want to. So I highly encourage everyone. We'll have the links for you here. And thank you, ladies, for taking time out of your day to share some amazing, amazing insights with us. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. It's just, you're building an awesome community, and this is such a great thing. Yeah. We know some of the people on the summit. You've got such a great lineup.
Yeah. Make time to listen to every single person.
Yeah.
Yes, and every single person on the summit has been not only a master at building their business, but also so high integrity and actually building the value in their clients. And unfortunately, I feel like you don't see that enough, right? So thank you too for being absolutely fearless and having that just real integrity to really improve, be the change makers, right? So I totally believe in that. And I really want everyone to encourage everyone to check these ladies out, because they are the real deal. And you can only get so much great value from picking them up on their membership. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. See
Bye,
you
everyone.
next week.
Yeah.